Every story has two sides, the one that you're told and the one that's hidden. Welcome to Twisted Storytimes.
Fig Street, the first night. They call it Fig Street. Every city has a street people whisper about. The kind of street parents warn their children about. The kind of street politicians pretend doesn't exist. The kind of street people drive through with their windows up and their doors locked. In Los Angeles, that street was Fig. By midnight, the city looked different over there. The neon lights reflected off rain-soaked pavement. Cars crawled down the block slower than they needed to. Women stood beneath flickering motel signs pretending they weren't cold, pretending they weren't tired, and pretending they weren't scared. Most people who drove through Fig Street saw the same thing. They saw high heels, short dresses, fast money, bad decisions. What they didn't see were the stories, the eviction notices, the unpaid bills, the abusive relationships, the childhood trauma that lingered into adulthood, the empty refrigerators with the children hungry, the desperation, because nobody wakes up one morning and says, when I grow up, I want to stand on Fig Street and make fast money. At least Zara didn't. At 21 years old, Zara had dreams, real dreams. The kind people write in journals, the kind people talk about in college classrooms, the kind people believe when life still feels impossible. But dreams don't always survive reality. 3 months before Fig Street, Zara worked at a clothing store in a shopping center. The pay wasn't great, but it paid enough to keep her teeny apartment, enough to keep food in her refrigerator, enough to feel normal. Then the layoffs started. One by one, employees disappeared. Hours got cut, schedules got smaller, paychecks got thinner, and eventually, Zara's name ended up on that list. She remembered carrying a cardboard box through the parking lot. A manager she barely knew apologized. The same manager who would still have the job tomorrow. The same manager who would sleep comfortably tonight knowing they still were employed. Meanwhile, Zara sat inside her car staring at the steering wheel trying to figure out how she was going to make ends meet. Trying not to cry, trying not to panic, trying not to think about rent. But rent always came, whether you were ready or not. The first month, she survived using savings. The second month, she survived using credit cards. The third month, she survived using hope. And hope was running out. The eviction notice arrived on Tuesday. Bright orange paper, impossible to ignore, plastered to her front door. She must have read it 20 times, as if the words was changed. But instead, the eviction got bigger. As if someone staring at the notice long enough would produce money. It did. The refrigerator contained half a gallon of milk, a bottle of ketchup, and 2 slices of bread. Her bank account contained less than $10. The future contained more questions than answers. That night, she sat on the edge of her bed in complete darkness. No television, no music, no distractions, just silence. The kind of silence that forces you to hear every fear you've been avoiding. And that's when the thought entered her mind. Not as a plan, not as an idea, more like a whisper. A danger whisper that seemed to make sense in that moment. A shortcut, a solution, fast money. She hated herself for even thinking it, but at this point, she felt it was the only way. But desperation has a way of changing the conversation. The more frightened people become, the more reasonable bad decisions begin to sound. And standing on Fig Street sounded real good at this time. And Fig Street had built an entire economy around desperation. Desperate people making desperate choices. A week later, Zara stood beneath those neon lights for the first time. Her hands shook, her stomach twisted. Every instinct in her body screamed, go home. The problem was, home wasn't safe anymore either. Because in the blink of an eye, what will home be? Because sometimes the most terrifying thing isn't standing on the street corner. Sometimes the most terrifying thing is knowing how you're going to survive tomorrow. So Zara stood under that neon sign. The first car pulled up. Asked her how much. And stepped inside. With her dignity left on the sidewalk. This is Twisted Stories. Well, the truth always comes out. Just not how you expect it.
Thank you for turning the pages on this Twisted Story with us. If you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. so you don't miss any posts from us. And remember, every twisted story have a life lesson attached to it, whether good or bad. You can learn from it and also grow. See you guys next time.